Welcome to Hockey on the Beach. It's Darьи Mironovой, and it's time to discuss women's hockey. Heyli Williams, US-born professional hockey player who travels around the world, fluent in Russian, plays for Hungarian national team, and runs her own business called Hockey Worldwide. Here is her story.
Your second try in Russia, how different is this one?
Well, it's a lot different. I'm having a very different experience this season than I did the first 2 seasons I was here. And then obviously, I left for 2 years, and I was really excited to come back because I've learned the language, and I was excited. I didn't think that I was going to be able to come back and see my friends again. It was kind of like a last minute thing with COVID that I had to leave and not play that third season here. So my expectations were really great when I came back. I was really excited, like I said, but my experience now is not my best season ever, and it has to do with my relationship with the coach specifically. So everything else is great. Like, I really love Russia, I like St. Petersburg. I have great friends on the team and everything, but we're butting heads a little bit with the coach here.
Like, if we are discussing hockey experiences, you are just ahead of him, that's for sure. But that's the issue with the whole Russian hockey, women's hockey system. So how long did it take you to learn Russian? I mean, I'm really amazed because I know, like, I've spoke Russian with you. You're really great at it.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, the last time we spoke in Russian was, like, I guess my second season in Russia. So I was only in my second year of learning the language. But now I'm in my 5th year, I guess you can say, because I've continued to use it, even if I had a lot of mistakes. And I still make a lot of mistakes when I'm speaking it, but I can really have a conversation for however, hours at a time. And maybe I have some mistakes with the endings of words and stuff like that. But since I got back this season, I actually got a Russian tutor who's amazing. So she's been helping me with just like the grammatical part of Russian. So it was my first time I've actually had any formal learning, and it's really helped a lot.
Can you write in Russian?
I can write, but it's like a little kid that's just learned. Like, it's like, it looks like I'm tracing the letters in the writing learning book. You know what I mean? One of my teammates, when I was playing for Gorny, she said that it was going to be impossible for me to learn it. Like you said, like, Russian people make mistakes. And so it was kind of discouraging to hear that. But at that time, I wasn't doing anything on purpose to learn. I was just immersed. So no, now I am actually trying to really learn. So maybe I can use Russian in my career in the future, maybe as like a translator or something, just because I have this skill now. So why not use it? So yeah, it's good. Why not have a new skill?
Well, you can work for CNN probably because you know about Russia so much.
Yeah, I probably could.
So when I look at the results at the Women's Hockey League this season, I can basically see the same thing as it was 3 years ago. So the Russian-born girls, they don't really have any other place right now to get their international experience. So you are one of those people who can give it to them. But when we talk about results overall, I can see that things don't change much in women's hockey. And that really makes me sad because just yesterday I was watching collegiate finals and I'm in shock. It's crazy the way it becomes stronger and better.
Yeah, I agree. And that has to do with a lot of, well, besides just having so many girls in North America that play hockey, so there's a lot of competition, which automatically makes somebody compete more and get better. In the sport world, it's not just like train until you can't like move anymore. There's a lot more that goes into it, training, of course, training your physical attributes, your skills, and then paying attention a lot to recovery and also the mental performance part of it, which is really missing in Russia. So yeah, there's a lot more growth in North America for sure, but I think there's potential in Russia. It's just that the people who are in positions of power are very old school minded. So right now, I think it's kind of a generationalized thing. I think the next generation of coaches coming up who are like in their 30s and maybe 40s, but maybe 30s, have a different mindset and are more willing to learn something new instead of just going in their old ways that they grew up playing underneath these Soviet Union coaches who are just kind of like train until you die. And that's all, that's the equation for success.
Well, what language do you use when you talk to your coach? I'm sure it's Russian, right?
Yes, Russian.
You are probably very intimidating for Russian men because they just do not accept women in power.
Yeah, you're not the first person to tell me that, and I'm like,
because I am the same.
Yeah, you are the same way. I know you are. You've gotten a lot of lashback from that, but look at where you are now. You're all over there in North America doing some great things.
Well, because I couldn't stand it anymore. When I first started to work in Russia, I really believed that I can change something, and in a way I probably did, but I was tired, and I can see that at this point nothing I can do anymore. I cannot break the system.
Yeah, and that is shocking and saddening because you have such a big platform, and when you're in Russia, you say your name and everybody knows who you are. So it's like somebody with such a wide range of renowned name can't even make the impact that's needed to give some more respect to women, I guess. And I'm not a feminist or anything. It's just I am looking at this, and it's not even, I guess it is kind of this, old Russian man versus this young non-Russian girl. So I don't know, maybe it is intimidation, but he's very, he's not very nice to me at all.
That's not nice. It's just have some respect, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I believe it. Especially growing up in Russia, you grew up in this culture, so you already had this tough, tough. You have to have a tough mind and everything, and then you obviously are putting in the work to grow and learn more things and become better. And I just think that people are kind of stuck in their ways here, and that I don't know if there's a language barrier thing where there's not information to be able to learn, or it's just a prideful thing where they don't want to because they think they know everything. But there's definitely a barrier there when it comes to just a growth mindset versus a fixed one. So yeah, that's a lot of the older coaches that I've dealt with, or I guess I haven't dealt with a ton of coaches here, but my coaches in the first 2 years, I didn't speak much Russian, so I didn't understand it the way I do now, but now I do, and I see there's a big disconnect.
Do you plan to come back?
Well, I have a 2-year contract here with Dynamo, but it's not going well. Definitely, I'm going to be here for the rest of the season, and I do have the 2nd-year contract, but if my current coach is here, I'm not going to be playing for Dynamo, that's for sure. I've never once in my life had a problem with a coach, and it's not somebody I want to be around. It's not a situation that I want to be in every day. It's very negative, very, extremely high pressure. Hockey is already such a high-pressure sport. There's no reason to add this unnecessary pressure from the coach for no reason. Make a mistake in practice, and he's, screaming at you, and you're in practice. And you're okay, we're just trying to train here and get better. This is the time we're supposed to be able to make mistakes. But we're not going to be able to play, 100% of our potential of performance if we're not allowed to make a mistake in practice.
Try not to pay attention. I know it's hard, but what scares me? Yes, those old, stubborn men. But the way they teach kids in Russia, it's practically the same. So there's still going to be a lot of younger guys who are just broken in their mentality because they're used to when coaches scream at them, when coaches hit them, and it's not even better for the girls. So I'm not sure if there is any light up front.
Yeah, I know. It is sad for sure. I've been doing a lot of self-education, buying courses and attending summits, mostly online because I'm in Russia, but about mental performance. And there's, like I said, there's such a disconnect. There's 4 pillars of being an elite athlete: physical training, skills training, tactical training, and then mental performance. And mental performance is 90% of it if you've got all the rest of the skills. And if you're strong and fast and you're skillful and you understand the game of hockey, but you have no confidence in yourself because somebody's killing you every day with their words and just their actions and tell you that you suck and that you're nothing and you're a weak player and things like that, you're not going to be able to perform, and it's just not okay. And Yeah, I do feel bad about it too, because it is, it's like a Russian culture thing. So some people are like, well, Hayley, you're in Russia. That's the thing. And I'm like, well, no, because I've seen other coaches that actually do have a different mindset and do want to learn more things about, and it's not just like that. It's not just beat somebody down every day. So it's not just because it's in Russia. It's, like I said, like a generationalized thing, and it's going to take a while for it to change ultimately. But I think because of the internet and things like that, there's more information to be able to get easily. You can get more information easily. So people do want to learn because they have the opportunity to.
I guess I could thank my father, because it was just different for me. Like from the early childhood, he would always tell me never let anyone to scream at you. So I remember once in my school, the teacher was screaming, and they still do. And, they call you names, they scream at you for no reason because they're not happy with their lives. And I had permission from my dad, so I just stood up and I left the class.
There you go.
Yeah. And it was, I think, like when I started to work in Russia, it was the same. Just someone called. So I answered the phone and I heard the voice, and a man, he just screams at me like crazy. So I hang up. I'm like, what? What is that? No one's going to call me and scream at me for no reason.
Yeah.
And he would just call back. I would never answer. And it turned out it was like the major head boss of the Match TV where I used to work.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm sorry.
What was he so mad about?
Well, it was just his way to react to things, and he didn't have enough information, so he just reacted. And he was like, you have no right to hang up. And I'm like, well, that's the way I was taught by my father and in the country where I came from, which, I applied to the United States, that you cannot scream at a woman and you cannot scream at your employee. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are. You called me and you screamed at me. But we got better. Like, I can't say we were friends, but he really respected me for doing that. He probably haven't met a lot of people who've done that.
Yeah. Well, you said it just now, like just the respect aspect of it. That's just like the foundation of any interpersonal communication in the world. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you just need to respect the other person that you're around or that you're talking to on the phone, and if you go into something just with just a little bit of respect, then you act differently to the person. We're all human. We make mistakes, whatever it is. You can be mad, but you can approach it differently if you have just a little bit of respect.
True. Do you think we'll ever get a female coach in Russia, or if it's even needed?
I know there's been female assistant coaches in the Russian league. I'm not sure about a female head coach yet,
No.
There hasn't been.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. Especially because, like, for example, Dinamo Neva, the director, she's pretty young, so, like I said, I just think the older Russian man you are here, the more things won't change. But if it's like somebody with a different demographic and maybe a little younger, maybe a woman, then there's more opportunities for something else to happen. But for now, I don't think so, no.
The problem with those guys, because, I've done a lot of research, I've been working on that for a while, they cannot get a job in the KHL or even junior league. So, they find connections to get into women's hockey. So they don't really treat this job respectfully, because people just need to understand women's hockey or men's hockey. It doesn't matter. It's hockey. You just do your job and you respect yourself and people you work with. It's easy. And it doesn't matter if it's women's hockey. You still want to achieve something because it's sports.
Yeah, I agree. And you're right. They do. It is like that. I wouldn't be surprised if any coach in the women's league got an opportunity in even the VHL, not even the KHL, just, kind of like the equivalent to our women's league, that they wouldn't jump to that opportunity right away.
They will, because most of them, tried, because, that's the problem. Okay, let's find the positive. Tell me more about your time in Hungary.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
I hope that was positive.
Yeah, so that was really crazy. Yeah, no, definitely positive. I didn't. So it was like a last minute thing, like I said in the beginning, because of COVID. Just our team folded like at the end of August, Gorney, and so it was like kind of like a panic thing. It was like, where can I go because all the teams are full, or yeah, like everywhere was full because the season's about to start in like 2 weeks. So I'm like, all right. And then I remembered about the coach who had reached out to me before the season before to go to play in Budapest. And so I reached out to him and he was like, oh yeah, we have a spot. So I went there kind of on a whim. Like 1 week later, I was in Budapest, which was really crazy because I was really sad. Like I wanted to stay in Russia and I planned to, and I was learning things, you know, like in learning the language especially. And I was having a good time here, you know, even with the kind of cultural differences or mentality differences. But then I went to Hungary and, well, not only did we win both seasons of the league, like we won the championship both seasons, which was awesome and fun. After, like during my first season, they offered me to get my Hungarian citizenship. So it was like really out of nowhere and quick. It was really quick to have that offer. I mean, the process wasn't quick. It was like a year, but now I play for the Hungarian national team, which is really awesome. Like I wouldn't think, you know, first I'm crying because COVID like kicked me out of Russia, and then now I'm a Hungarian citizen playing for the Hungarian national team, which in a week from today, I'm going to Brampton for the World Championships in Canada.
This is amazing.
Yeah. It's really crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Life is really weird how it works. But yeah, of course I wouldn't say no to the opportunity. And so now I'm an American Hungarian citizen and, you know, just expanding my resume here, I guess. But it was really fun to be in Budapest, even just to be a person in Europe, because you could travel around easily on trains and buses to go around to different European countries and kind of just see what's going on in all the countries. So my travel experience really, it added to my travel experience there. And yeah, it was really good. But then, like I said, I was excited to come back to Russia. The salary is better here than in Budapest, and and the league's a bit stronger. So those are my two biggest motivators to come back here. But you know, you never know if it's going to be good or bad when you make a decision.
That's not true. Hey, you're into this mental thing. Of course, you can say that it's going to be good for you. You just keep saying that until it's good.
Yeah, true. Well, that's the thing. Like, even if it's bad, you say, you know, I'm not really sure if it's bad yet because something else is going to happen that's going to be good. And if I wasn't going through this situation now, then this next great thing might not have happened. The one thing that's kind of a challenge for European countries is that the countries are so small. So the numbers of the girls that play it's not a lot of girls. Like I don't even know the amount of registered girls hockey players in Hungary. It's got to be like barely a few thousand, if so. And if you're looking at like the U.S., there's like 70,000 or something like that. Like there's like a huge difference of the amount of girls playing hockey, and that's just because the countries are so much smaller and there's a lot less people. So the growth of it, I mean, I think everybody in any country in the world who cares about women's hockey is trying to grow it, you know, in whichever way that they can. So I think that everybody's kind of on the same page. If you are passionate about women's hockey and that's kind of one of your goals, everybody's trying, but it's kind of like, how do we do it? Depending on your geographical location or something like that.
That's where you can step in.
No, I want to, and I plan to, but I'm still playing hockey, so it's kind of like
it's hard.
It's kind of hard. Like I play and I also coach, but I do most of my coaching in the off season, so I can't be full time in like the coaching yet because I still want to play until at least the next Olympics, because I think we have a chance to make it in the 2026 Olympics with Team Hungary. So that's my goal. So in 2026, I'll probably, focus less on my playing career and focus more on my coaching career, whichever opportunity comes,
That's amazing. You should totally do that. I will support you all the way.
Thanks.
What about your summer plans? Tell me more about your hockey school.
Yeah, so before our podcast right now, I was like sending emails and everything. So I'm like I said, I'm still playing, but I run my business, and I also am a director for another company with the CCM Selects Spring and Summer organization. So I'm the girls program director. So I'm like really actually busy, but my work is all online when I'm overseas. So it's really a good balance, and I'm able to do it whatever time I have free and on my computer. But when I go home, we have the World Championships April 5th to 16th in Brampton, Canada. And then I go home, and that week I start right away, and I have 17 events from April to July. So it's like, if you looked at my calendar, it's all like in July, there's not one day off, not one day. But if you look at my calendar, there's not 1 week or weekend off for the entire April, mid-April to, well, I guess beginning of April, because we're at the World Championships, until the end of July. It's like, and I'm not just like in one place. I'm going around, from different states to like Chicago, Michigan, Wisconsin, Boston. I'm going to Edmonton, Minnesota. I'm actually going to go to Budapest in July as well for training.
Well, I can hear Florida. Where's Florida?
Oh, I'm not going to be in Florida, but I am going to be in Charleston, which isn't that far away from Florida.
Like just recently, PWHPA was here in Tampa, Florida, and it's all about the girls' classes and meetings. Seriously, I just felt like my son was left out. He was always around the women's hockey, men's hockey, and he's really open-minded. So he was like, why I cannot practice with the girls? Because I really want to do that too. It's okay that I'm going to be the only boy. Why I cannot do that? So I feel like, we're still divided because it's like, all the focus on the girls now.
Yeah. I mean, that's true for sure. All of my programs are girls as well. We don't have boys anymore. When I first started it, I had boys in my programs, but I mean, I think, because of the divide, like you're saying, it's nice for parents to hear when they have a girl player that the program is focused only on girls, because that's, it's the different narrative than it's been for however many years that, it's always boys first. So when it comes to hockey. So, I mean, yeah, it does kind of change. It does kind of reverse the roles there and makes now your son feel left out, which that makes me sad too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's see what Hayley has. Maybe we'll visit her. And it's like all the girls.
Yeah, it is. All right, well, maybe I'll add a co-ed next year just for your son.
How you prepare yourself for the games in Russia? Because I know it's like all the things, all the stories that you said, and I know it's difficult too because of the weather.
Yeah, it is. It's actually starting to get warm here. Today I went to the gym, and it's not too far away, so I'm able to run there or walk if I don't feel like, well, actually, that's the only way I go there. I wouldn't go like in a car or on the bus, because it doesn't make sense. Just the way that it's like 15 minutes in the car or the bus, and it's like 20 minutes if I run. So it's, it doesn't make sense to take the transportation. But so I'm like running through all these puddles. I'm like, oh no, because it's getting warm and the snow is melting. But yeah, it is definitely a different mood when it's freezing and snowy than when it's a little bit warmer outside. But to prepare for the games, I just, make sure I'm well rested and make sure I've been focusing on my nutrition for a couple days before the game. And definitely I always try to get in the right mental headspace for the games, because nobody else is going to try to help with that. That's an individual thing. But I mean, there's some natural adrenaline when it comes to game day. Obviously, that's what we train for, to compete, have the game. So I wouldn't say I do anything super special when I'm going to prepare for a game, but just to make sure that my body's ready and recovered, then it's usually a good day for a game.
What can we do to make it better for you in Russia, for your experiences, for the women's hockey overall?
I mean, just to talk about it more and let people know that we have it. I think when people know that it's an option to watch women's hockey or to go to the game, or, I mean, the games are on YouTube, so any game is watchable for free, so and actually, if you look at the YouTube, like if you look at the games that are on the YouTube, it'll be like, 3,000 people watch the game, because it says it on YouTube, how many views. So it's, it's not like nobody's watching. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like there is a good fan base. It's just, not as I don't know, put out there in the media, I guess you can say.
Well, that's totally
As
true.
it-
I
as
know.
it-
hmm What about
Yeah.
the attendance this season? Can you see that it's different from 2 years ago?
Yeah, no, it's not too much more,
Mhm.
especially because we play at Jubileni, which you've been at plenty of times. So we play on the Mala Arena, which has just the one side of the stands pretty much. So when we're on there, it looks like we've got a good amount of fans. But if there's a day where we can't play on that one on our normal rink, then we play on the Glavna Arena, which is a way bigger bowl of stands, and it looks like nobody's in the stands at all. So I mean, it's not like the tickets. It's free to go to. It's just there's not really any marketing about it around the. Like I said, I go to Fitness House here not far away, and inside there they have like posters on the wall with Dynamo VHL guys ads inside the gym. So we don't have that. And it's also interesting because Dynamo is like a big system. It's not just our team is its own entity. It's like we're connected with the guys' teams, so they can use the same type of marketing dollars to kind of push our games out there even more, to make it more desirable and just even known to be able to go to the game.
Well, I guess it's very important that you say that, so people, because so many people still don't understand how things are different in Russia for men and women. I am back to school, and once again, I see the way athletics is treated over here in the United States. It's pretty amazing. And surely I feel like I want to make sure that students, athletes in Russia know about it. And if the age will allow them, they should come here. They should try harder just to experience different life, because they sit there and they do not know that things can get better. And especially for the girls, that's practically the only way right now how they can grow their game.
I actually have very strong feelings about this, as a matter of fact. When it comes to Russian, I'm specifically about Russian girls who play hockey, because I'm in this niche of life. I'm with the Russian girls who play hockey, and there'd be like a 14-year-old who's got her first contract in the women's league here, and it's like for 5,000 rubles a month, and she's so excited because she's in the professional league and she's getting paid, and she's gonna have 5,000 rubles for the month. But now automatically she's just deleted any of her chance to be able to go to the U.S. and play NCAA hockey, for example. Because if you've been, paid as a professional player, then this voids out your chance to be able to go there. So the reason why I have this feeling is because I saw this when I first came here, and then the girls will ask me about it, and they'll say, I want to go there and study and play hockey. And I'm like, well, do you get paid? Like, is this part of do you have a contract with the team? Yes, they get paid. Okay, well, you can't. But they can go play club hockey technically, but there's no scholarships or anything. So when it comes to the financial part of it, now it's going to be, now they have to go over there on all their own money, plus pay for extremely expensive schooling, which, obviously it's a way different cost in the U.S. than it is in Russia. So it's kind of like impossible almost for most, because of just the expenses that go into it. So I've been thinking about it for like 5 years now, to have like a little kind of, I guess agency would be the way to say it, but some sort of like just educational thing for girls to know their options so they don't get stuck, and I don't want to say stuck because that makes it seem like it's negative, but there are, even just to go play in the U.S. and learn the language just from immersion, because like nobody speaks English because they don't need to. They're in Russia, and just learn a different culture, learn new things, like just grow as a human, but they don't really have the chance anymore. So I've been like thinking about how can I start something like a program for girls to just at least learn about, and then help them get overseas to actually be able to play like NCAA D1 hockey, for example. There's definitely talented girls in Russia that would be able to have the potential to do that, but they've already diminished their chance to be able to do that because they get paid. Yeah, I've had the conversation many times that like, I totally would have helped you, but there's not going to be a way because it's against the NCAA rules.
Well, I actually been thinking about that too. Like, I try to show that in my stories. I'm sure a lot of people hate me for that, because I show that just to, to everyone, to the girls, to the boys, because they need to experience life and they need to understand that things will get better. Because when you play for juniors, you, like your first contract, you might be happy for a year or two, but what's next? So you really have to consider your perspectives. And over here, you're still going to school, so you're gonna get the best education ever. So I guess that was like my question was long, but I've been thinking about that too. Like, how can I start bringing girls over here? Looking like I was going through our, bless you, photos,
Thank you.
photos and videos like from your first season when you just came to Russia. And the way you are right now, I mean, you are hard as stone. So, like, at that time, it was probably a good option to come to Russia, to travel, get the new experience, and make money. Like, would you suggest your American Canadian colleagues to go to Russia to play hockey?
I wouldn't. No. Yeah, I don't know. If I did it all over again, well, I don't want to say if I did it all over again, I wouldn't change anything. It's just like if I thought back to when I first came here and what I've done, like what I've gone through, like you said, like I don't know how, I don't know, like, because it's not like I came to Russia and played on the Chinese team, which is like many imports, and they speak English, the coach is American or Canadian, it's like that. But I like came right dead into like the middle of Russian culture with nobody speaking English around me, not knowing a thing about Russia. And like, I don't know how I did that. And I don't think that anybody, I don't want to say I don't think that anybody could do that. Anybody could do that if they wanted to, but it's just like, you really do have to have like a perspective of like, I have no idea what's going on around me at all every single day, but I'm just going to do it and let's see what happens, and it's been a great experience for me. I wouldn't change it at all. I'm really, really happy about my life the last 5 years, but I'm not going to stay in Russia for the rest of my life. I think I'd be here one more season maximum next season, and then go back to the PHF probably. And I just wanted to say one other thing about what we were talking about just now with the girls not having opportunities to go study in the U.S. Or just not knowing about the opportunities. This is another thing with like the Russian education system. They've got athletes who, they play their sport, so they don't even have to go to school basically. Their teachers just like sign off on their report cards and nobody's learning anything. So it's like you've got 9 teams of girls in the Russian league right now that I don't want to say everybody, but a large majority of them have not had any like post-secondary education at all. And it's like, what are they going to do after they're done playing hockey? Like what kind of specialization are they going to be able to be in? Like they don't really know anything about like what's next, like after hockey, not just
in life.
Yes, in life. So it's kind of scary. So I could see like what are they going to do? Like, I'm not saying anything's bad if you go work at the grocery store, but the skills required, it's like simple. You can, you're going to say like, I played professional hockey for 10 years and now I work at the local grocery store because I don't have any other skills or education to do something else. So it's kind of,
That's totally true. And you still have to remember that here in the US, people earn different wages for working in the grocery store. It's good. Like, I'm comparing that to Russia, because in Russia, it's poverty. So you only go work to the grocery store, like if you don't have any other options and you're not going to make much. You're just going to try to survive. This is horrible, but you're so right. Like 100% about the education and chances. Totally true. I was trying to make this one positive, and I think it is.
Okay, let's do a positive one.
No, it is a positive one. I mean, it's a learning experience.
Yeah.
I'm just still like amazed that, I mean, you're still there. It's just, I don't know. It's amazing. You need to get a medal. You need to get a medal for that.
For the longest time living in Russia, if you were not Russian.
Yes, and especially nowadays when it's even harder. It's even harder when you're Russian American. You cannot live in Russia and you're still there.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, I wish you luck. Just, stay strong, powerful. Mental health is important, but I know in Russia no one cares about that, and they say you're a psycho if you even talk about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's been nice to talk to you. I'm glad that we can catch up again. Maybe I'll run into you in the United States soon.
I hope so, and let's do that again after your finals.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yay. Okay,
All
thank
right.
you, Hayley.